Hi, it's the Mike Gormley Show. I'm Mike Gormley. Our guest today is Gary Myrick, who's we just heard She Talks in Stereo, a big record for him back in the 80s. He pointed out that that was 40 years ago, and I wish he wouldn't do that kind of thing, but
I'm sorry.
um, but what I wanted to ask you, you've done a lot of recording. You talked about that, and you played guitar on a huge record called "Missing You" by John Waits, right?
Yep. Yep.
Did you tour with him, or was that was a session?
Well, no, it wasn't a session. It actually was a band.
Oh,
We were put together by a manager that we both knew, and John and I decided to start a band, and we were going to call it, a band name. It wasn't going to be the John Waite album. It wasn't going to be the Gary and John album. It was going to be, the
bad.
the Big Floppers album. I don't know. It's gonna we were gonna have a name for the band. So that was never going to be a John Waite album. And I Like a Dope finished the album. I played all the guitar. I wrote two songs on no was it four songs? Four songs on that album with John. And so we did the whole record together. I brought in a drummer. He had a bass player, and we did it all as a band. And then I got an offer from Geffen to do another solo record, which I wanted to do. And when you make an album, you never know if anybody's going to listen or care.
Hmm.
And so I didn't know. Who knew we were going to have a number one song? We didn't know.
Hmm.
And nobody knows. Record companies don't know. Nobody knows.
Right.
So I said, I really want to make this record. I had points on the album, so that means a percentage. So I had a percentage of the album. I had songs on the album. I felt like I financially was okay from the record, and I, have royalties that come in forever from that album. So I thought, oh well, that's okay. Uh, so I'm going to go do this record. And John and so I really gave John that album. I said to John, I said, look, just call it a John Waite album if you want to. It's okay. Because I didn't know. I just didn't, I didn't think, it could easily not go anywhere,
Yeah.
or it could, or it could. So, of course, from then on, I felt like a complete idiot from doing that. But, it's okay. It's okay. I got paid. I'm still getting paid.
Hmm.
And the only thing that's bad about it is that I could have toured
Yeah.
off of that record for decades. And that, having a number one song, and he's been able to do that because I gave him that record. And
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, John, but it's the truth. I gave him that record. I allowed him to call it that because I could have just sat tight, and it could have been just called a band name
Yeah.
because that's what it was. It was a mistake on my part, but hey,
You're doing
I
okay.
think what it didn't who was it? Somebody said that they turned down The Godfather. Some actor said he turned down The Godfather. I
Hmm.
forgot who it was. Was it? It was Jack Nicholson, I think. I think it
Uh-huh.
was Jack Nicholson said he turned down The Godfather. So you don't
Yeah,
know.
that's right. No, it's just a decision at
You
the time with what you know at the time.
and I had a record to do, a solo record, and I thought, I want to keep doing my solo records, and they didn't want me to. So I said, oh, we'll just make it this solo record. And I got my points and everything. It's cool.
Well,
But
now you're doing some of all my sins. Now it's well, you've been doing some of your own stuff ever since then, but
yeah,
um, but now you're doing the more blues oriented, if not absolute blues songs. This is more comfortable for
no,
you, right?
no, it just has the root of it is in blues, but it's rock and roll.
Uh-huh. Okay.
This is rock and roll. This is some loud, tough rock and roll. And but it comes from the blues. Yes,
Got it.
that's true.
It's certainly rock and roll. It's, as we said earlier, it's a down and dirty record, but I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just
No,
it's got a lot of power, and to kind of use a cliche, it's got soul. It's strong in that way, and we can
I appreciate that.
we can prove that because we're going to listen to a song on the way out, written by Bo Diddley and
Muddy Waters.
Waters, and
Yeah,
it's famous by Muddy Waters. I didn't even realize, I confess, that Bo Diddley had co-written it, and
yeah. There's actually even a third co-writer, and I don't remember his name. But mainly the guys that get, that are known are Muddy Waters and Bo Diddley wrote this song. And I've always loved this song. And this song also was done back in the 60s by the Yardbirds.
right.
And they had a cool version, but Muddy Waters was my favorite version. But I put in my own stamp on this one and made it really tough and raucous. And I'm quite pleased with my version.
Yeah, the Yardbirds version is almost it's almost psychedelic before psychedelic was a thing. I mean, they really go into it and off into the ozone on occasion, but it was not a pop song, and their version wasn't anyway.
No.
And your version is it's your version, but it's maybe closer to the original. And
it is closer to the original.
Right.
But it's got some, some feedback on the guitar, which there was some, I think Jeff Beck did the feedback on that and on the Yardbirds version, but I'm not copying. I'm not copying anybody.
Oh, no.
And I made sure it was my version, but I wanted it to be true to the originality and the blues history of that song.
Did you ever, in your travels, get to see Muddy Waters or Bo Diddley or any of those great artists?
I did. I saw Bo Diddley open up for damn, what was his name? I'm just completely spaced. I saw Bo Diddley play at the Palace in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And that was pretty cool. But these are many years after his his heyday.
Yeah.
But that was cool. And I've seen a lot of people through time. I did see Muddy Waters play in Austin in the 70s. And it was in a kind of a half full club.
Wow.
So I was real close, and I heard him do what they really call it Mannish Boy, but it's got both titles. I'm a man or Mannish Boy, but it's in the blues world it's really called Mannish Boy.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was going to go ahead. What you were saying about that?
Oh, I was just saying, and I saw him do Mannish Boy or I'm a Man live. And how he did it, and I've always felt like I could bring something fresh to the party.
Yeah,
and I hope that doesn't sound like I'm bragging. I don't want it to sound like that. I just felt like I had something to say.
Well,
you tell me. I don't know.
Yeah. Excuse me. We'll hear that now, and I want to thank you so much for coming in today. All the best with the Sum of All My Sins that can be found on every platform around the world these days, including Spotify and Apple, and you've done a video for it, right? Haven't you? Or you're
well, I have a video of On the Road Again.
Yeah.
That I had directed too, because I like to, I've done a lot of artwork. I've done all my album covers through the years, so I'm an art guy, and I like to, dabble in artwork. And so I'm into, the visuals of video and things like that also. And I'm working on a video for Gloria today. And that should be done by this evening. And that'll be popping out too. So,
Yeah,
but also they can go to GaryMyrick.com if they want to hear. You can hear the songs in their entirety. You know, a lot of times you'll go to buy a song and you just hear part of it.
yeah.
Because they think you're going to steal it or something. Anyhow, I don't do that. I like to play it in their entirety so they can hear the whole song and then make a decision if you want to buy it or not.
Sure, got it.
It's all good.
Thanks so much for coming by. We're going to listen to "I'm a Man, Mannish Boy" from "Some of All My Sins," a new recording by Gary Myrick, and it's great to have you out there playing music. And when you play live, let us know. We'll spread the word.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Nice being with you today.
Bye
and
bye.
nice being with your buddy too.
With Jeremiah.
I know he's Jeremiah. That's a great name, Jeremiah.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still there.
I'm still hanging out, spying on you guys.
Not that I'm arguing, but it's the Mike Gormley show. Thanks very much for being here.